y'all, APG Jamie here. So today we're working on a play away journal, which is made from a fly swatter. Okay, fly swatters, more than one. Because I thought it would be funny and I thought it would be cute, and y'all know how I am. Unique, special, you say? Yes, is the answer to both of them. That's me, doing it the hard way, cutting it off. Now I'm filing it off, and then I find there's an easier way. And look, if you just grab a hold of them just right, you can just pluck them right out of there. It did take some effort. I'm not going to stir here. Okay, it took some effort, but yay, no metal bits to fuss and worry about. So we're going to show you one more time, and I'm twisting that cutter because this metal may bend easy-ish, but it doesn't cut so easy-ish. So I'm just twisting it and squeezing and twisting it, and then it just snaps off. And then we just, pull them out. Ta-da! Ta-da! Pulled it out. So, makes me happy. Here's the paper. Now, started out with already backtracking here, crawfishing, y'all. With just a folio, a piece of paper folded in half makes a folio, because I was just going to do that, and then I thought, well, how am I going to bind this together? I didn't even think about the binding quite so much until I started working on the pages, which y'all get to see pert near. Well, actually, you do get to see every page. I know. And we're just now not even 3 minutes in the video, and you're going to see every page. It's a long-ish video. Just saying. What? Am I going to yammer the whole time? Well, I might just blather on. So, my thought was to have, the folio in between each fly swatter. Okay? But that changed once we started working on the pages. So, yeah, just be ready for that switcherino. Liking it. Liking the different colors. I actually had another set of fly swatters. They were a different size. It wouldn't have mattered, but it mattered to me. I didn't, it would have put too much yellow in there because it was a pair of yellow ones. And I'm like, no, I like the different colors. More butter. So anyway, we're going to do some collaging and some stencilage and collaging and stuff. So I have no idea what I'm going to yabber about for this long. I mean, it's like a 5-day video or something ridiculous. I know, I might say it a way more bunch of times. So we're going to use this one as the background on her, and I think I pretty much inked everything with sap green, which is a very pale green, very pale indeed. And I don't know that I have the re-inker for that, and I don't think I'll get it if I don't. I haven't checked. So anyway, I picked it up on clearance, my boyfriend. And we're just going to ink around this one with some blue. We do ink it around, and take my word for it when I say portions of this video have been sped up for your view and pleasure. I worked on this little journal over a while. Yeah, over a while, a few days, weeks, whatever it was. And if you don't know, maybe you don't, maybe you're new here. Glad you're here if you're new. Glad you're here if you're old. Glad you're here if you're medium. Glad you're here. When I decide on doing a project, I have these baskets from the Dollar Tree, y'all. They're just, little small baskets or whatever size the project's going to be. Because I do have some larger baskets. Anywho, the point of the story is I gather my stuff, okay, for a project, and I put it in the basket. Now, I do recommend that you keep notes in your basket, because you're liable to look at that basket and you're going, what the heck was I going to do with this treasure? I said treasure. I said treasure. Because you might, forget. And if you have some little sketches, an idea's kind of planned out. I mean, just generalize. It doesn't have to be specific, because everything's subject to change, y'all. It's all subject to change. Okay? So, anywho, anchoring around, being fancy. Printed out some printed out, of course. I could printed them out. They were done on the computer, for heaven's sakes. They weren't done on a typewriter, because I don't have a typewriter. Anyway, I already have some, some of y'all know that I keep words on hand, printed out on cardstock, various phrases, quotes, and whatnot. And I think I only did one special one or two. I don't know, I might have done two for this whole little thing, if I didn't already have one that inspired me to use it, So, all the magazine images are from the same magazine, Blooms and Birds and Blooms, I think. Description box. Look there, and it will tell you what the magazine was and what the issue was and all that good stuff. And because that's where these birds and, actually all the magazine images came from. So, this one's getting a painty background with some stencilage. And yes, I do get off screen from time to time, because that's the way I go. Heat gun, y'all. Heat gun, off and on. And I'm trying so hard not to get the previously done page messed up. Okay? Because they're pretty, and I don't want to get them messed up. Although that does happen from time to time. I don't think it happened this journal, but, it does happen, and that's just kind of how it goes. So now we're going to do some stencilage. And I'm using, just a cosmetic sponge and some regular old craft paint, just regular old craft paint. Oh, I forgot to tell you what paper I was working on. This is some heavy watercolor paper. I think it's Arches. I have bits and strips left over, and as you saw, I tore them down, and, because I like the ripply edge. Anywho. So we did that one all around. Heat gun, y'all. There is heat gun off and on. And I'm like, now I want to use this one. There is no rhyme or reason why I want to use something, y'all. Well, it's not obvious to me. It may be obvious to you. And if it is, please let me know. There's a comment section below. Okay? I guess email me if you really think you need to. So that's just white gesso, because I want to give a little bit of a layer, resist layer there. And now we're going to use this here stencil. I think they're both iStencils. Don't quote me on that. It's in the description box. Okay. And we're using whatever that third color is. Could be blue, light blue, could be turquoise, depending on what your screen reflects it as. So I'm going to offset it just a little bit, because I thought it'd be fun and make a little eye ziggy going on there, because I thought it'd be fun. We'll wait and see. Was it fun? It's okay. But let's just cover it all up with yellow, shall we? I'm like, I don't know. I've got my one page on the back. I've got to come up with something on this one, because I've already got a good page on the other side, right? I thought, well, I guess if worse comes to worse, I could do it on a separate piece of paper and glue it on here, because, it's just paper, y'all. Just paper. Here you go. I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of digging it. Let's put some doily on there. Yeah, there's a section out of that doily. There absolutely is. Why was there a section out of that doily? I don't know, because, stuff happens, I guess. Like, oh, that bird. I love these big old giant birds next to these little paper dolls, Tim Holtz paper dolls. I know, y'all, I love the Tim Holtz paper dolls. I don't use them near often enough, but I have a bunch. And I hate it. I do. I hate it when I see somebody else using them in a video and I'm like, hey, I don't have that paper doll. How come that paper doll wasn't in my paper doll package? Huh? What's up with that? Then I have to go down to the store and find another package of paper dolls and hope that one was in there. And chances are it's not in my package, because that package was destined for some other country, or and they put different paper dolls in there. Darn it. Timmy, what's up with that, Tim? So we ink around all the paper dolls with the same brown pen. Okay, now some stuff I show you repeatedly. I probably could have cut out more, because we've got days and days and days worth of video here, people. Oh, matte medium. We're sticking that doily down with matte medium, okay? Because if your background's kind of ugly, not the most beautiful thing you've ever done, put something else on top. It'll be all right. So here's the section. It's not the one that was cut out of that doily. It's a different one. I don't know what it was for. And I thought, well, I'll just stick it on there, because it don't matter. That's going to be on the book crack side anyway. So we got this other smaller doily, and I'm like, well, let's just put that on top. And I was like, okay, let's do that. Shall we? Yes, we shall. So we did. So we did. And I've done some inking on everybody's faces, and I think I show you off and on, and it's real fast, and it's just very light, and some of them get color in their hair, and some of them I think I color their bows and their hair, their shoes, or whatnottage, and some of them I'm like, I just don't like that. How am I going to get rid of it? So you can cut some of these bows off, and you can alter these paper dolls. Okay, just throwing that out there. Just throwing it out there. You bought them. They belong to you. Cut them up, y'all. Just saying. You can do that. You have my permission. If anyone should say, hey, you can't do that, go, APG done told me I can cut them up and alter them as I see fit for my purposes. I'm not claiming that I made these paper dolls, but I can alter them. I can make them. So, because those two girls was together, and now they're not together. They're still together. They're just not together. That was just a little piece of trim that came off from around that bird, because we fussy cut it just a little bit closer, and I thought, well, that just looks so good down there on the ground, because we made a ground for the little girl to stand on. So that's what we did. I'm like, yeah, she gonna be petting the bird. Got her arm around the bird. And I use various glues throughout this project, and they are listed. Oh, did I say that already? Description box below. Click on the phrase show more to see more information, including ingredients and such. And the way I bound this originally was done by Karen Bartimel, and got more butter instructions from Tanya McGuire. She and Lisa, Lisa the Eclectic. Oh, now I'm lying. The Eclectic. Lisa the Eclectic something. I will link to them in the description box below, and to that video that shows you more about how to do the binding, because in the end I ended up ad-libbing. I just went on, I'm just like, I'm going my own direction here. Is it repeatable? I doubt it. Anyways, I will link to them in the description box below, hopefully to the specific video in question. Cross fingers I remember, y'all. And to their channels in the upper right hand corner, because I don't think I can directly link to a video on their channel. I don't know. Anyway, upper right hand corner, description box. And if you're watching on television, I'm sorry you don't have access to either one of those, or at least not at the time of this voiceover. You don't. Maybe you do now. So that is a baby wipe I used when I was making that other background, and I thought, well, I still like them colors, and I like this baby wipe. So, you know, when I got through using it, I thought, well, I'm keeping it. So I did. I kept it in my basket. Y'all see the corner of my little basket right there. So about the only thing I don't put in the basket would be specific glues, you know, because I use them all the time on my desk and stuff. And that's matte medium right there in that bottle. But the paints that I use, I do tend to keep them in the basket, because what if I want to use that color again and I can't find it because I'm like, I don't know what yellow I used. What green did I use? I don't know. So, just, yeah. That was it. And now we're going to use some Nuvo Paste. I do try to keep a dampish, wetish baby wipe in these jars, because y'all know these jars that open up, them wide mouth jars, they may be nice for getting stuff out of, but it sure makes product dry up. Y'all remember the Delusions debacle? Just saying. So anywho, I keep the wet baby wipe in there, and that really kind of helps keep them from getting overly dry, because this is a stiff, they're expanding mousse, and it is a stiff product, okay? And when you put it on, if you heat it up, it's kind of neat, just saying. When you first put it on through like a stencil, or you just smeared it on or whatever, hit it with the heat gun, and when it heats up to dry, it puffs up. It goes, yeah, well, it doesn't make that sound, but, you know. And if you don't heat it up, you don't have to heat it up. It'll stay whatever level you had it at. And you can just put these on like you do an Inca Gold or a Rub and Buffs kind of thing too. You can just do that too. Just so, yeah. So I did like what, 3 different colors, I'm thinking, I don't know. And we're going over the top of it with blue. So maybe this is the 3rd color. Because like I said, you can use it for, like, you know, rub and buff kind of situation. And I'm like, boy, I sure like that baby wipe before I put these leaves on there. Because when you're using this Nuvo mousse, because it is thicker, it really wants to be on a super flat surface. So if you're putting it on something that has any kind of texture already on there, like a wrinkled up baby wipe, guy, or wrinkled up paper or whatnot, it doesn't want to go on there real nicely. Just putting that out there. So expect no perfection, okay? And you won't get none. So now we're putting on, this page is getting a little bird, y'all, just a little teeny baby bird. It's cute. And this girl, she's getting her little rosy cheeks and lipper stick too, because they all get it, y'all. And if I didn't go around her yet with the brown pen that's mentioned in the ingredients below, I will. I'll get there. It's a long video. We are not quite even halfway yet. On here, I thought, well, I'm just going to color them leaves on this bouquet that she's holding. I thought, okay. And then I thought, well, I'm going to take this here faux flower, because it's not silk, but it's a faux flower. And I'm going to cut it down and make it teeny tinier so I could put it in her hair, because I thought it would look good in her hair because it matched the color of the bird's head. I just thought it would be cool. And this stuff, these things will not glute together. And I knew that about these little not silk flowers, y'all. You have to use some of that acetone glue, you know, Fabrifix or Beacon 3-in-1 or whatever kind of gooey stuff that is. So I ended up not using that, and I glued on another some other. Maybe it was just a diamond, y'all. We might have just put a diamond on her hair where the ribbon was. Just saying. So some of these birds that were fussy cut out have, you know, like parts of their tail maybe missing or something like that, because that one got its tail cut off. So I have to try to finagle my pieces to cover up those little cut off ends. Otherwise, it might look funny. And I try to make it so that nobody's floating in the air, but they might be floating in the air. I mean, they are hanging out with birds. Just saying. And we do put the Stabilo all pencil shadow around all our little people. Okay. This one's getting a whole page. Some of them I thought, well, I just love that whole thing. I don't even want to change it. So just glue the whole thing down, and we'll just change it on top. Now see, this one's got some words over there on the right, so we're going to have to take another piece of that modelly that background and try to cover that, because I just don't want it glaring like that. I didn't want it glaring at me, y'all. So it worked it just fine. They're also pretty nice magazine, y'all. Nice. The pages are really thin, but it's a nice magazine. So I need something for my little feller to stand on, because this time we got a little feller. And trimming off the excess stuff there. So I took another piece that was in the same picture and glued it on there sideways, so it looks like a stick. And then we're going to go over that that part in the shadow there where the bird's got its feet wrapped around the other stick. And we're going to darken that up with the stabilo. Okay, and it's black pencil, and it's water soluble. Anyway, see, this looks like it's just like, yeah, that's supposed to be that way, right? Right, because that's what ABG Jamie said, and that's what she said, and that's what she did. So finish going around the guy, the brown pen. I think that's water soluble too. You gotta be wary of those things, y'all, when you're doing stuff. And I thought, well, this one needs a frame, so I just went around it with my Higgins Black Magic brush pen. Oh, I love that thing. Anyway, I wanted him popped up just a little bit, and I had this little piece of scrap cardstock laying there, so I just took it and folded it in half and put it on his back. Now he's popped up just ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. And we're going to put a little pop dot behind his head, because his head was kind of sticking up kind of weirdly. I'm like, no, dude, little man, can't be doing that. So putting some shadows under his feet, because, you know, he kind of got some shadows going on, typically, usually. And here's his little phrase. I love this one. Just act normal, they said. Because he's kind of got wide-eyed look about his face. It's kind of funny, y'all. And I had that particular, I don't know what those little pens are called, but it's like a, you know how felt tip pen tip is? Felty? That's what those ends are like on these little tiny things, so that you can, you know, squish ink around little teeny tiny places. So anyways, here we go, doing another page. I don't remember how many pages we ended up with. I think it was only like 6, maybe. I don't know, 6 or 8. It's an even number of that, I'm sure. Front and back makes it an even number. So there we go. Flowers, y'all. See, I did use some of the flowers out of that magazine. I didn't just use birds. They had a couple butterflies, but not really very many butterflies at all. So here comes a big old doily. Now this doily was done over at Christchurch, and it's got the I'm going to use the word magicals, but I don't think it was actually magicals. I think it was some other kind of powdery dye stuff. Thanks, Shirley Blevins. Anyway, so I just did them on some doilies, and we're just going to put that all around because I'm like, I don't like that background. Let's just cover it up. So that's what we're doing. Although it's still back there, you know, kind of peeking through the little doily parts and stuff like that. And don't worry about that little part, you know, sticking out over there. It doesn't have anything on it. Heat gun, y'all. There is heat gun off and on. So we're going to glue down a big old bird. Look at that big old puffy yeller bird, y'all. You know, these are probably really, some of these are probably really small birds, but they sure look big old birds when you put them next to a little paper doll. Or paper doll next to the birds. I don't know, whichever you want to say that. And most of these do have texture on the page and stuff like that. So now I'm going to trace around her legs, sort of, because I'm like, she looks like she's sitting there now. So we got to make sure we get her back in the right place. So I just put some little pencil marks down there so we can be like, yeah, that's where she wants to go. So it looks like she's sitting there and the bird's behind her, and she's not scared. She's a brave girl. And she's getting red roses because she's got some roses right there in her lap, holding them in her hand. And then she's got a little corsage on. And we're going to have to cut her feet off, though, and I hated that. I'm telling you, I didn't like doing it. I kept them. I'll use them one day. I don't know for what, but they're in my little bucket over there of stuff to use. Just saying. Here they go. Oh. But they were sticking out. We couldn't have them sticking out. Sorry, little girl. So I'm looking for something to say. I don't remember if I found it on net or if I printed out another something. Because I keep a whole bunch, you know. I'm a poet too, y'all. And poets, as a poet, speaking for me personally, I like words. I like to collect words, and I make lists of words because some days some words sound more better than other words, and I like words put together because sometimes they just sound neat together. They don't necessarily have to mean something, okay? But, you know, anyway, that's my story. So she's getting some ribbony trim stuff that's kind of hard to glue on, so I have to clamp it all up. Clamp it, not jag clamp it. So, because I started to put her word on there, and I'm like, no, put the trim on, because I forgot I wanted to trim, because it looks so cute on there, y'all. That's my story. Still my story. Here we go. Only 5 more days of recording to go, people. Hang in there. I appreciate you. Oh, these 2 brothers, I don't know if they're brothers. They look like brothers. They get separated. Okay. One got to keep his arm, and the other one's arm, I don't know where it went. It's just not there. Wasn't in the photograph, but he got his hands there. So this one's going to go on this background. And I kind of, you know, like I said, I didn't really have a plan. Now, I did gather up the paper dolls that I wanted to use, and I gathered up more than I needed, because I didn't want to use the same kids twice. I did like the kids. So, anyways, not that it matters. But I think this one's going to get some of that Nuvo mousse, expanding mousse again. And maybe one of them's not an expanding. The aubergine, which is purple, y'all, purple. It's not an expanding one. The one I have anyway is not. So, but it's so pretty. Look at these. These are Crafters Workshop stencils here. I don't remember the series though. It'll be in the description box. Have I said that before? Of course I have. Don't be redunculous, people. And so you can see how thickish it is, and I'm fishing it out of the pot with a palette knife and putting it on that there plastic key card, credit card, gift card, whatever kind of card. So we did the blue, and then we're going to come over with the white. And I don't think I heat gunned either one of these because I wanted them to keep their shimmer. Oh, heat gun! Heat gun, y'all! I'm such a liar! Anyway, I don't think much of it popped up. But because I wanted to shimmer, I don't want to go over this with the matte medium. So I'm going to have to use some Aleene's Original Tacky Glue, which is my favorite glue. It's not like I have to use it. I want to use it because I want to keep my background parts shining. Okay? And if you go over it with the matte medium, that's just, kind of defeating the whole purpose of having shiny. Just saying. So this bird and his pine tree got all fussy cutted out. Not totally perfectly, but, pretty good enough. Pretty good enough. And the little boy that's got missing side of his arm is getting tucked right in there, and you wouldn't even know it wasn't there, would you? The only reason you know it wasn't there is because I done told you. So, because the background is so raised up, now it's not like it's, quarter inch up, but it's raised up. I chose to fill in the little divots and stuff with the art glitter glue. It doesn't have any glitter in it. So, we're just going around, putting some shadows under his feet and around him and stuff, and just like on the other pages. Do y'all like seeing every page in a little journal? Do you like me saving up the footage and then putting it all together? I don't know if you do or not. Nobody's really said. Let me know. Oh, now we're finally done with our pages, and we're going to work on our covers here. Okay, and I thought, well, I want to cover up that end on the fly swatter thingy. So I thought, well, let's use this duct tape because we have it and it's over here and we've got a bunch of it, so we won't run out. I'm like, okay, that's what we're using. So we're just wrapping it around here, using the bone folder, not a real bone, to smoosh it all nice in there and get it all nice and married together. And we do that for all our little fly swatters. I mean, we got 4 of them, I think. I don't know. And I cut some window screening to approximate size, and we got to put the duct tape on there because we got to put holes in these so we can bind them. And I chose to use eyelets as well. Now the fly swatter, the middle part is thicker than the outer edge, so I'm using a bigger eyelet in the center than I am on the outer edge. Okay, but all the pages are getting the little tiny baby eyelets. Little teeny tiny baby eyelets, y'all. And I'm making a template, a punch-in template, okay? You know, I used my first fly swatter to line up. I'm like, yep, we're just going to mark our holes straight on here, and then we'll put them on the template, the punch-in template, for the rest of the pages, y'all. Okay? It's all right. It worked. It worked. And isn't that the point, that it works and that it makes me happy? Anyways, so I got to use a bigger hole in the middle and the smaller holes on the other 2. Each one's getting 3 holes. Okay, so we do that for all of them. Like I said, portions of this video have been way sped up, way more even speeded up. Okay, voiceover ease, and it's still going on forever. Oh, we got to find some eyelets, and I think I went with silver for the outside ones, and I don't remember the color on the insides. Might have been orange or green, or I don't know. I just looked over at Jeff and Molly. He's got his leg thrown up over her head. pets. They so funny. So now we got to get our little eyelets going in there. I know, only 4 more days of video voiceover, y'all. So we're doing that. I have to, squeeze down pretty hard on that crocodile. Now I'm using crochet cotton thread, which probably wasn't the best thing to use because it can be kind of stretchy, whereas wax linen is not stretchy. Now this is my first time doing this binding method, and I will link to Tanya's I kept hearing this noise. Tanya's video where she shows you more butter. She and Lisa, they did what was it? That was that tag. No, not the tag. Oh, now I don't remember what journal it was. Anyway, I'll link to it in the description box below, upper right hand corner. Okay, I got that all done. It's kind of looks braidy, and then this is where I went off on my own end because it's kind of like I felt like it was too loose for me for this particular project. So I just started wrapping my threads around and around. As you can see, I had lots of thread to play with. So I wrapped them all back down to the bottom, the back cover. And then I ties them all up in weird little bundly knots, y'all. I just, it's just like, okay, well, I'll just stop. I'll just stop for now. Well, yeah, that's enough because that's just weird. And we'll flip through. And so I wove them back up to the top and come back out that the larger center hole right there. And I'm gluing the fibers tighter together, twisting them up with some aleen'es glue, original tacky, so that they'll be kind of stiff needle-like. And I picked out some charms, and I was going to use these beads, but those beads would not fit on my thread. And I tried. I'm like, get in there, bead. And it's like, no, I don't want to be on this journal. And I'm like, fine. Don't nobody need you on their journal anyway. So I went and grabbed some of these. I think these are glass beads, and I bought them one time from Michael's in a big old tub. And some of them aren't the best beads in the world. They're just kind of like hand mishmashed. So yeah, they fit, and the charms fit. And we're just gonna slide them on different ones on the strings and tie little knots to hold them in place. And if you feel like your knot's not gonna hold, if you feel like your knot isn't going to hold, put a little drop of glue on there. It'll be alright. Tell them stay on there. APG said stay on there. So we do that for a long time. I don't know how many strings I think we had six thread strings, and various charms. There's butterflies and dragonflies and bees and leaves and stars. I don't know, y'all. Now here I thought it'd be real fun to have some seam binding over here on this edge, so that it kind of blows, flips, and So I go through all this trouble, cutting them, using some of that fabric on there. They were acting like they wanted to come undone. I'm like, no. And I was going to use some other threads and stuff on there too. And just so you know, I didn't, because after I did all this, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't like that so well. So I cut them off. Now this paper doll for the front cover, I'm gluing her on with the Fabrifix there, and then I had to, this is for personal use, I do not suggest y'all do this. I copied her on my scanner and reversed the image so they could be back to back. Okay, it's personal use. All right, just throwing that out there. Don't be doing this, people. So that worked really well. and I outlined her, and I also painted the edges black so that it would look more like a shadow underneath. Now, I'd already prearranged these things and took a picture. I took a picture, photograph, and then I will look at that off and on to get my things back in the original location that I wanted them in. And I checked my glue chart, and it said to glue wood to plastic, because those are little wood veneer things, and I'm going to stick them to the plastic. It said I should use contact adhesive or a Loctite. I didn't have contact adhesive, but I had Loctite. It's old, and it was dry. I didn't want to come out of that tube very well. So, and I'm picking out the extra little glue globules because they bother me. That's why. Because they bother me. This stuff dries clear, so you really wouldn't have been able to see it anyway. Well, maybe if you examined real closely with the magnifying glass, but none of y'all's going to do that. I thought it was fun. That's how this journal got its name, because those are the wooden words that I had, and I'm like, oh, I like that. Play away, play away. Doesn't that sound fun? Yes, it does. Say it does. I know it does. See, I have to refer back to my picture because I got these little birds, and none of these came together, I don't think. And so we're going to put our birds on there. Okay, and we're using the Loctite. Yeah, that's what that is, with the putting it on with the craft stick, aka popsicle stick that's never seen a popsicle. And it just makes me so happy, y'all. Okay, now we're down to about 3 more days of video because there is an extensive. I didn't quite get everything back exactly where I thought I wanted it, but it's perfect. It's perfect where it is. Look at that. Oh, yeah. So I let it dry, and I thought, I want them words. They just don't seem to be popping, so I decided to paint them black. I didn't like them black. I thought, no, and I can't take it off, because I couldn't. So I'm letting them dry, and then I realized she didn't get any pink cheeks and lips, so we'd do her, and then she's getting brown hair, y'all. So we've got blonde hairs, dark brown hair, some red hair, and now we got a brown-headed person, people, paper doll. So cute. I thought, well, we'll just go over it with this here white jelly roll, and it'll be all more butter. And see, it's all more butter. I liked it more best this is natural wood, but couldn't undid it. So there we go. Nice little flip through. Quick little flip through. Okay. Get ready. Are you ready? Photo montage. It's extensive. It's a long one. It is, because you're seeing every little page flipped, and even the window screen flipped. Window screen, summertime, bugs. Anywho, so cute. I hope you can read the little phrases, because they're too tiny on my little editing screen for me to see, and I don't remember what they said. I don't remember, and I don't have the journal in my lap right now. Makes me happy. I remember that one. Just act normal, they said. That's a funny one. I appreciate each and every one of you. Your likes, your kind comments, your subscriptions. If you haven't subscribed, won't you please take a moment to do so? Click the bell for notifications if you have your account set up for notifications. And don't forget to share my video with your friends. I'm sure they'd get a kick out of inspiration, happy, something. Thanks for watching, and happy arting, y'all.